The following is a presentation of Playfly Sports Properties and Michigan State Sports Properties. Well, hello and good evening, everybody. It is Thursday, February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day, 2024. Welcome to the only show about Spartan Dawgs, hosted by Spartan Dawgs. This is Sparta MSU. I'm your host, Jason Strayhorn, along with my co-host, the boss, Otis Wiley Jehuu. Jehu's being Jehuu. He's doing a speaking engagement right now. But listen, if this is your first time, we want to welcome you to the show. If this is not, we absolutely thank you for your loyalty. And be sure to click the like and subscribe buttons. Helps us a whole lot, doesn't cost you a thing. And be sure to be in that chat where the party is at. It's already lively already. And we are live and in color for everybody, just in case you didn't know. Follow us on all of our social media platforms at This is Sparta MSU. And let us know where you're watching us from. Otis, man. Been a big weekend. We did have Tuesday off to memorialize the tragic events that happened a year ago at the shooting at Michigan State University, but we are back now. Lots of heavy hearts looking back to what happened in those tragic moments in 2023.
Yeah, it was a good thing for the university to take that stance of, just going dark. It's no social engagement, really taking it all in when it comes to on campus, having the vigil, with the lighting of the candles and, Sparty statue. I still look back on the quick decision of what it could have been, for myself personally. It was just a decision of really takeout. It was Raising Cane's or Chipotle. And I made the right to go to Chipotle in Okemos versus going to Raising Cane's, which is right across the street from Berkey Hall. So I always look about that from a standpoint. I worked a little bit late too. You kind of go back into your own story, like, okay, where was I at when this happened? And just the alert in the news that happened that night. It's it takes you back down the memory lane for the year, but we did come together strong from a Spartan Nation, and we rose above it. Came together. It was just surreal, and then let's talk about, what just happened at the Chiefs parade, man. It's just the gun violence is something has to be done. And we keep having these situations and these scenarios and these mass shootings, and it's the same cycle. So it's like, what can we do to make sure this doesn't happen again? It's going to continue to happen again. But how did you feel about it, Stray?
Oh man, that was a moment of reflection for me. Obviously I wasn't in Michigan at that time, but we did hear a lot about it on the news, and being connected, obviously, with everyone on the show and talking with you guys and understanding like the magnitude of it. And you told me how the entire Grand River corridor was just dark during those hours, and you were delivering food to the federal agents who were investigating what was going on around there. It just, it made it very real, and when I first got back to campus and seeing, some of the memorials, how can you help but not think about your own family in a situation like that? And the families of Brian Frazier, Ariel Anderson, and in Alexandria Verner, those are forever etched in our memories and our hearts as people who lost their lives it made no sense, unsensibly, for a person who ultimately paid the price himself. But listen, look, we will never forget them for what they had to sacrifice at Michigan State. And, what Spartans do, the Spartan Strong movement has been there since, and it will continue on in eternity, in my opinion.
Amen to that, brother. I totally forgot about that. The delivery of the food and that's how kind of like you were just on the go. Like you didn't really have time to decompress and like feel your emotions. You know, you was just kind of quickly going into the survival mode of supporting the people that were doing their their civic duty. And yeah, so it's crazy, man. But I know we have some good things to help cover that. That Michigan State, you know, basketball has feel like they found their stride. So, you know, everybody's watching that game against Penn State.
Yes.
Our boy Malik Hall, like finally, right?
I mean, back-to-back games. You know, we haven't been on since the streak in wins here, but yeah, absolutely. Michigan State basketball men's beat Penn State 80-72. Malik Hall with a career high 29 points, along with 10 boards.
Man, look, I saw the commentator say, or the analyst talk about. Actually, I was listening to our lovely colleagues in the radio broadcast, Will Tiemann and Matt. And you were saying, you know, for the longest, you know, these guys were rallying and playing and carrying the load that, you know, Tyson Walker would always do. And this is what we looked for when we were ranked fourth. Like, this is the team that we all have been waiting to kind of see from a standpoint when Malik plays, when AJ Hogarth plays, when Jaden Akins play, when they are balling, we already know Tyson's going to get his buckets, right? Like, that's what Tyson does. Like, this man was leading the rebounds there in the game. Like, he wasn't making an offense, but he had the most rebounds as a 6'1" guard.
For a while,
I think this is an opportunity. Yeah, this is an opportunity to show, like, get all the kinks out. We should be smooth sailing once we get to postseason, and no one should be able to stop us. That's the mentality that I know I feel. I haven't played no basketball, but I know these guys feel that too. Like, no one can stop us. Like, get on that court and they fear us. That's how I felt against that game there.
Well, that's that Izzo mentality. You know, we have a special guest who's going to really bring us inside the locker room to really know the origins of that Izzo mentality. But, you know, before we get to him, you know, Malik Hall averaging 35 points over the last 2 games. You know, Illinois, 10th ranked Illinois. There was an 88-80 victory over them. And then obviously coming back with a total of 51 points in 2 games against Illinois and Penn State for Malik Hall. I mean, he is showing up. As you said, Tyson Walker is going to get his buckets, but in this particular game, you're talking about the Penn State game, he only had 6 points, but he matched that with 6 boards, as you talked about there.
Yeah, and then, you know, I like how, like, the role players played their role too. You know, Cooper doing what he does, getting his points. Booker coming in, like, Booker has the smoothest 3-point jumper out of our big man, clearly, right? So it's really just getting more experience, getting more weight on him, more speed, getting stronger. That he's going to be a problem to be reckoned with, man. I mean, look how we were just. This is Jay Naked, like. I mean, take flight, Jay. Like,
yeah, just 20 points. That's all. Yeah, just 20 points for him. You know, like, the other thing,
you see the mentality that usually when you play these guys or a team like this, we level down, like we dumb down and we play against the competition. This was like we were on attack mode the entire time, and I just like to see like everybody's getting some buckets, everybody's getting time. Look, see that? Like that's where you see celebration around Booker. Like, it's been probably a tough transition. Like, let's call a spade a spade. It's been a tough transition coming from the high school to college, and to see him smile, that's right there. Like a whole journey he's finally arrived. He's going to still grow, but I'm excited to see what we do because who we got down this weekend. It's on and popping again.
Once again, school down the road. It's going to be one of those barn burn. It's going to be one of those particular games that everybody's going to be tuned into. Malik Hall and Carson Cooper both combining to be 12 for 12 from the free throw line. Malik having 8 for 8, and Cooper 4 for 4. So, I mean, those guys are coming in and gelling at the right time. When you look at, you know, there's writers out here. It looks like there's a writer, Joe Lenardi, has MSU as a 9th seed in the East in his latest bracketology.
Who's that one seed in that bracket on the East? Is that Purdue? Are they saying, Sean? I ain't want to put you out there, but it looks like it's Purdue or Duke. It's always going to be one of them
Purdue
Dukes.
was yeah.
Yeah, it's Purdue.
Let's see.
I mean,
that's in the East. This particular one has UConn.
UConn. Ooh. UConn's balling too. So, look, I don't want to mess up our timeline because I know we put this together in the script, but because we were dark on Tuesday, we didn't get a chance to really talk about Super Bowl, but more so the halftime show. And I want to know straight. What was you and Mama Straight doing halftime? Like y'all was getting dancing. Like what was y'all doing? Like I want to know.
Listen. It was we're older now, man. Like I think
man, look.
He was all.
I know y'all can groove. I know y'all be grooving. Come on, man.
When I was watching Usher perform up there, I kept thinking about Otis Wiley. Because I said, I know Otis is somewhere gigging in the living room and singing. Who you were.
Hey, look, I'm not even going to hit that. I'm not even going to hit that note when he come in like, then he added the roller skate to it. Like, I'm like, this
man, that was crazy.
Roller skate, dog. Like, look, man, that was legit. That was all the flashbacks, all the hits, singing. I just like the transition too. Like the whole selection smooth. I was trying to figure out, what did you rate Dr. Dre? Because that was a good one too, with Dr. Dre and Snoop and all that. That was a good. I did like Kendrick Lamar, but this one was it, man. Like that was a beastie concert.
Right up your alley, man. I mean, it was what was hard for me is to realize a lot of those songs are 20 years old, man.
I know,
man, but they're timeless. Those are timeless. And the roller skating, I saw the young lady fly off the stage too. There was a lot going on during that.
It's like it was the homage to Atlanta and marching band. You had Jackson State. Like there was so much elements of like, be honest, blackness. That's what it was. Right? Like a bunch of just opportunities to celebrate that, man. That was good. I get chills. Like I'm about to pay for my tickets to see Usher at Little Caesars Arena, but it looks like it's already sold out. So I'm gonna be out.
You better call somebody that got a suite or something, man. I know people that know people that know people. I mean, man. Hey,
I didn't want to be real. I didn't want to be real, but I feel like
it was worth talking about. Absolutely. Yeah. You can't. I mean, Usher halftime, but all the halftime performances have been epic in the last few years, man. And the game was pretty doggone good too, man. And I know people. There's a lot of people out there that don't like dynasties. I don't know why. I don't know why people don't like dynasties. I mean, to me, when you hate greatness, you're just a hater. That's what I think. I know. That's just me saying it. Why do you hate greatness? It's hard to do. It really is. And they're trying to go for a three-peat. Not that I'm running around here in Kansas City shirts, or jerseys. But man, look. As we progress on through, Spartan hockey did sweep Michigan last weekend. It moves up to number 4 in the national rankings, Otis. This is big for Michigan State hockey.
I like the meme or the social photo of Adam. Adam this past summer they got this pizza machine or pizza oven, and they put the 3 M's on there on the slide of the pizza dish where he's cooking them. Man, like this is huge. Like this has never been done in a long time, and for them to go. Obviously, the Ann Arbor and Dual in the D, they play their tails off, and like I just like the aggressiveness for each sport when we play our competitor in state rival. Everyone's having this battle here. I just like it. I love it. Great win for the boys. This is going to be a good opportunity to go into a true battle for the last few games that we have on the schedule to get ready for a Big Ten tournament.
Without question. I mean, this is huge. And then next week, there's those big games coming up against, I think it's Ohio State, back-to-back games on Friday and Saturday, which Saturday is senior day at Munn Ice Arena for hockey. And look, don't forget goalie. Trey Augustine is named a semifinalist for the Mike Richter Award for the nation's top goalie. So can't win without having a great goalie.
Yeah, absolutely. And the best part is young too. He's young, so we can hopefully keep him for a couple more years. But good job, man. Like I
look just like Chu. I think Chu can get in that same position. Can't he?
Look, I just don't know. It's tough, man. That hockey puck, I don't know how they do it, man. Like, that's a gift. That's a gift. I don't know how you sit there and catch that little. It's what did Miller say? He said it's going how fast? How fast the puck going?
160, something crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a tennis serve, but it's a lot harder than the tennis ball. Especially if you catch one of them boys right there in the dentures. Look, talking about football before we get into our special guest moment here, Nick Samac, offensive center, gets an invite to the NFL Combine. Nick, obviously nursing the injury that he sustained in the Indiana game. I think it was a lower left leg or a lower leg injury, a broken leg. Otis, I mean, what do you think? He's going to be able to get down there? This says a lot about his talent level and skill for him to get this invite.
Yeah, and do we know if he's accepted yet? Because I know sometimes when you are injured, your job is to maybe your camp or your agent is saying, hey, let's rehab, let's get back and maybe have some pro day opportunities. But like I went and I was fresh off of surgery on my knee, and it was very beneficial to have the interviews, which is very important, to talk to the GMs, talk to the coaches, take the testing. He's still probably strong to be able to do the bench test if he wants. But there's what's the strategy? Like, we know he can play. We know he's one of the top leading linemen in the draft. But, what is his camp telling him, which we probably need to go ahead and send an invite out to get him on the show to kind of talk us through that. But congratulations, man. It is a hard feat to get this invite to the Combine. So for him it's unfortunate how it went down too, because he was, playing well, and we know he's the leader of that offensive line when he was here. But congratulations, Nick, getting that invite, representing Michigan State, green and white.
No doubt about it. I think he's obviously one of the most gifted linemen on that team. A year ago, a guy who can pull out in space. He's big. He's actually bigger than the required specs for a guy who can play center. He can play center and guard, tackle in the pinch. When you look at Nick Samac, very athletic. When you look at the boards in the Spartan weight room, now they all wear the catapult, those sports bra things that tell how fast they're going, how much energy they're putting out. And he's always one of the fastest offensive linemen on the team since he arrived in East Lansing. Don't expect anything less of him. I mean, the injury he sustained is nothing that's going to be career-threatening at all. And, to your point, Otis, I think this is obviously something that he needs to go do. Go to Indianapolis. If he can't participate in drills, so be it. But definitely do the interviews and all the other medical testing that they want to see, him doing. A lot of these guys do a lot of clean living over these last, say, 6 to 8 weeks. You know what I mean? The body fat goes way down. Their IQ goes way, they got to be sharp, and you got to be on. At the Combine, you've been through this, right? This is something that they sleep deprive you. It's like, being in Guantanamo, man. They make sure you don't have any sleep, and they get you up really early. They, make you walk around in your underwear for about 3 or 4 days, ask you a lot of questions to see how you're going to respond to that. And, you got to do it with a smile, because if you can pass that test, man, you're not going to be selling insurance or driving UPS trucks. I can tell you that much. So, look,
ain't nothing wrong with UPS for 6 figures now. I mean,
nothing.
To your point,
ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah, or selling insurance. Hey, I know insurance. You see them guys what they living in, but absolutely. NFL, you know what I mean.
I just hope that medical testing, man. That's PTSD for me. It's a whole nother beast.
Wrenching on you.
I mean, you legit like an action figure, just like what's this? I feel a little cracked. Like I told you about my story. Like, the doctor, I forgot what team it was. The doctor legit grabbed my big toe, and it felt like he grabbed my big toe and jumped off the table. I was like, God, and I was like, I didn't cringe because it hurt, but I had to sit there it's like, hey, did you have a turf toe? I'm like, no, I didn't have a turf toe.
Hey, you gave one of them Denzel tears, one of them slow boys.
Boy, I felt everything in my bones and my body like when he was like, "Oh my God, my big toe!"
It jumped up.
I felt like I'm a country sucker. Like you got shot in my big toe. Like,
oh my goodness!
I just hope that that's maybe changed. I don't know what it is now, but I remember last time. I think it was a couple years ago when I was living in Indy. I was able to go in there and see it. You know, they kind of changed some things around the convention center and the train station and all that. But that medical stuff is a whole nother beast. So I hope he is prepared for that. But congratulations, man. They're gonna need a Nick Samac on one of these teams for sure. Go ahead and get the Lions. Come on with the Lions.
There's no doubt about it, man. And we love that we got an invite. We got to keep that streak going with another draft pick, and Nick Samac is one of the guys. And there's a couple other players out there. We'll cover those guys in the days ahead. Jacoby Windman being one of them that can potentially get into the draft out of Michigan State. But like what you've heard so far, don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons and follow us on all of our social media platforms. We're going to hear from one of the first African-American student managers for the Michigan State basketball team after these messages from our partners for This is Sparta MSU.
Everybody come for the fresh and fruity. Only at IHOP, it's Rudy Tooty. Mix and match like a little combo cutie. Happening now at the big extravagoody.
The Rudy Tooty extravaganza starting at $7. Create your own combo with eggs and bacon. Only at IHOP.
Are you confused about whose interests your financial advisor really serves? Is your advisor making decisions that benefit you, or is he just chasing a fat commission for himself? Spartan fans, you deserve a commission-free advisor with no conflicts of interest, like Trivaloni Asset Management. Trivaloni Asset Management is a fully independent, fee-only registered investment advisor. The company is even owned by a Spartan, me, Antonio Trivaloni. Visit us at SpartansMoney.com. That's SpartansMoney.com. Make an appointment today. Go green!
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception? First down? Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Well, it is our pleasure to invite not the first, but he might be the second African-American manager of Michigan State basketball history, but he's number one in our hearts. The one and the only classic, triple 20s is his age, if you want to add those up. Triple 20s. George Johnson joins. This is Sparta MSU. George, welcome to the show, baby boy.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. Thank you for having me. All I got to know, can we go back to the issue? First of all, let's take a moment to wish everyone strength and power that was affected by the incident at MSU last year.
Oh, absolutely.
I had the distinct honor a few weeks ago, I think it was last month, to meet John, who is one of the victims. He joined me at a basketball game. I got a chance to meet him and his family, and I welcomed him into the game, and I told him, I said, hey, tonight we're going to have fun. So I need you jumping up and down, whatever you got to do, we're going to have fun. I've been pleasured by having Otis with me at a lot of the basketball games. And I'll tell you the story about how he and I almost got through out of he'll say it was me almost got through out the game. I say it was us when we was at Little Caesar Arena this year. We played Baylor. The referee couldn't tell us apart because they thought me and Otis would look like twins. He couldn't tell us apart. So I think it was Otis that was messing with the game. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Hey, I've been to several games with Otis, and I know how he get down.
Oh, man.
Otis don't be playing, man.
But I had John. It was a great honor to host him. It was, and I truly, for all the kids, all the parents, all the faculty, the staff, the residents of the Lansing, East Lansing community at large, I wish them strength. I wish them support. That night for me, there's a couple kids on the basketball program now that I'm very close with. One being David Smith, the son of Steve Smith. I got a chance to see him at birth, and I've been in his life since he's been born. And the minute that I learned through my own son, who was part of the basketball program, that something was going on at MSU based on Twitter and Instagram, I reached out to Davis, and he told me he was off campus and he was fine. And then the second person I called was Nick Sanders, who was the son of Barry Sanders. He lived across the street from me as a young child. Saw him at birth, and he was over at the weight room at the IM, and he was locked in the weight room, and he was not comfortable. And he was of course, a freshman on campus. And I talked to him for several minutes, and I forgot I'm not his real mom or dad. I said, "Hey, we got to hang up. I know you need to call your mom and dad, but you can call me back. I will stay on the phone with you the rest of the night if that's what it takes." So this impacted a lot of lives, and to get through this first year, I have a lot of empathy for everyone, including you two, because I know your love for the university and the kids that are there and the faculty that is there.
Oh man, I mean,
Yeah.
Appreciate that, George. You have a lot of great relationships. We're going to get into that.
Okay.
But let's talk about like who you are. Like where did you go grow up, and like how did you get to Michigan State and working for the Michigan State basketball program?
Great question. So I'll never forget, in 1979, we had a basketball player on the team. His name was Irvin Magic Johnson. And that guy was phenomenal. But his name was Johnson. Yes, Irvin.
And because it was Johnson, you felt the connection?
You felt the connection. Yeah, I was in the 8th grade.
Honestly, when I first met you, I was like, I thought you was his brother the whole time. I thought y'all was kinfolk.
Yeah, I'm part of the family. I'm going to show you why in a minute. I'm part of the family. Because remember, we're at home. We're in our house. We're just going to talk it up tonight. And so getting a chance to watch Michigan State on TV and see Judd Heathcote win the championship in 1979, I decided right then I was going to Michigan State because Magic Johnson had been at Michigan State and won the national championship. However, I didn't play basketball. I weighed 100 pounds in high school. I ran track. I was a miler. And so I had a chance in high school to meet Coach Bibbs. And he came over. They had this thing called Central Michigan had this thing called the Michigan Relays. And I got a chance to participate as a high school runner. I ran a 4:19 in the mile. It wasn't the 1500, so don't laugh at my time. 4:19 was good.
Oh,
4:19
so I got to Michigan State and met a guy named Kelvin Scott, who's from Saginaw, and he got me to be a walk-on the track team. And so I tried out, and I ran a 4:17. Coach Bibbs said, "Hey, son, that's good, just not good enough." So while I'm on the track and I'm looking disgusted, the basketball team would practice while the track team would practice. I mean, we had Jennison. Yeah. That's what it was like in the old days. And so the ball, while they were practicing, rolled off the court, and I picked it up and I threw it back on the court. And Coach Heathcote at the time, Judd, his real name is George. I don't know if you guys know Judd's real name is George. And
I didn't know that. Coach
Heathcote said, "What's your name, son?" I said, "My name is George." He goes, "That's my name." I said, "I thought your name was Coach Heathcote." And he said, "How you doing?" I said, "Fine." He says, "What do you do?" I said, "Well, I thought I ran track." He said, "You played basketball before?" I said, "At the end of the bench." And so he talked about Michigan State to me, and I told him my passion for Magic Johnson and the university. And the remaining part of this season, I was called the friend of the team. And I used to watch Kevin Smith and Sam Vincent in 1981, and I was around for practice and talk. And then at the time, Mark Hollis was a freshman manager, sophomore manager. Mark said, "This George guy talks too much." But they let me hang around the team. And so in 1982, I officially became a student manager, and I got connected with the team. So I came before the great Tom Izzo. He did not come to 1983. So I like to say I'm the reason why Tom Izzo is where he is because of me in 1982.
Wow.
Yes. And so the tradition at Michigan State,
I
got to put this on. You guys appreciate this. It's an honor to be with you guys, and you guys know what I'm putting on. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when you are Spartan and you get a chance to put this jacket on, I don't care what sport you played, you're part of an elite group. And when I got my varsity jacket, I thought I was the campus king. Now, I didn't weigh but 105 pounds. And I was hanging out with a guy named Carl Banks. Don't know if you guys know him. Now,
Come on,
the
man.
greatest football
Flint
player.
Town.
Carl Banks, yeah, that's exactly right. And then in my sophomore year, I met a guy named Mark Ingram. And then in 84, I met a guy named Andre Rison, who played 2 sports, actually ran track. He did 3 sports. And the great thing in the camaraderie that we had at Michigan State, all the varsity S guys were close. We all had a mutual respect for each other. And that legacy has gone on for years. And for me, it has truly been invaluable. It's been the relationships. And I got tons of stories, but go ahead.
Absolutely. Man, you had the opportunity to work under Coach Heathcote, and then obviously seeing Coach Izzo come in. When you're in that transition, did you know that Coach Izzo would be the predecessor, like coming under the successor, not the predecessor, successor under Heathcote? Was that the plan all along, or I know you see the whole dynamic, but talk about that just from leadership, coaching, schemes, etc. Like, how was Judd and how was Coach Izzo when they joined forces?
I'm not taking anything away from Tom, but I got to be honest. Judd Heathcote was a math major in college. So everything he did was based on analytics. This analytics you guys hear about today in sports, that was Judd Heathcote back in 1977. He was all about analytics. He said the best shot to make is a layup. The best dribble is no dribble, which means get a shot that's near the basket. Judd had these cliches. Know your personnel. Keep the game simple. I mean, that's how Judd talked. And so if you worked for him and you were on his coaching staff, and back then we only had 4 managers. It wasn't like they were like today, 16 managers and everybody assigned to a player, just 4 guys, a senior and a freshman. And it was just the 4 of you. And so working for Judd, there was an appreciation. And he had a playbook. I mean, a book with probably 5,000 plays. And I know I'm exaggerating, but it was a thick book. And Tom, when he got there in 83, was a student of the game. He really paid attention to everything. And Tom would be the first one there before Judd arrived. And every day at lunchtime, Judd would go home and have lunch with his wife, Coach Heathcote, Miss Beverly Heathcote. He'd have lunch with her. Tom wouldn't eat. Tom liked Lay's potato chips. So don't tell nobody. If you ever want to make Tom happy, get him some Lay's potato chips, plain. He'll eat the whole bag. So don't tell nobody. And so that's what he did. He would always read the playbooks. And so he was always prepared. And to this day, and I know Tom is triple 20s plus a few more numbers, so he's older than me. He still is a student of the game of basketball. And that's what made his players great each year, because he taught you the game of basketball. He wanted you prepared. And I would tell you, even to this day, I don't think nobody on the staff will outwork him, even at his triple 20 age number. Nobody outworks Tom. Tom's the best. Now, the tough part for me is I knew him as Tom because Judd was head coach. The problem is I see him today and I get confused. Do I call him Tom? Do I call him Tommy? Do I call him Iz? Do I call him Coach? I don't know. I call him Hall of Famer.
But you call him every day.
I do call him every day. He's a morning guy. I'm a morning guy. So I do get to call Coach every morning. Some days he's like, George, what do you want?
Don't miss the call, don't call back either. Like, I've been one of those culprits. So like, he'll call me in the morning. If I don't call back, he'll be like, hey man, did I do something wrong to you, man? Like, did I do something wrong to you, man? Did I upset you? I haven't seen you in a while. I heard from you. But no, I appreciate you checking in on me, man. But you also have the relationships with, one of our distinguished alums and Steve Smith, like brothers, man. Like, I mean, honestly, we like blood brothers, right? So, like, talk about that dynamic because
funny story. So, what happens with the basketball program? Because unlike football, you guys have 100 guys, probably 125 if you include all the practice player. We typically have anywhere between 12 to 15 guys. And so, as a student manager, considering that I was one of the only minorities at the time, whenever we had recruits came in, we had guys that we recruited named Glenn Rice, if you ever heard of him. He went to the other school down the street. We had a guy named B.J. Armstrong, Kendall Gill, Steve Bardo, the great from Detroit, Derek Coleman, and we had a guy named Doug Smith. So we were recruiting Doug Smith, and he was coming to town, and everyone talked about Doug Smith. Tom says, George, there's a guy. His name is Steve Smith. He's skinny. He's skinny like you. He's coming to town. So I'm going to give you $10. I don't know if it's legal or not, so I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to give you $10, and I need you to take him to Wendy's. Unfortunately, I was trying to impress this girl on campus who I've been with now for 38 years, who's my wife. So I'm like, I got $10. If I take her with me, I can impress her that we're going to Wendy's. We college students. We eating ramen noodles. I got $10. We going to Wendy's. And back then, you can get a sandwich, a fry, and a drink for like $2.99. Y'all don't remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I got her, I got Steve Smith, and I'm in a Volkswagen Bug.
In a Volkswagen.
Yeah, it was no Tesla, no Escalade, none of that. This is a Volkswagen Bug. And on Trowbridge, we go to Wendy's, and Steve ordered a triple. And I said, God damn, why he get a triple? That's messing up my budget. I got to spend more money now because I got this girl I'm trying to impress. So we go to Wendy's right there on Trowbridge. Steve get a triple. Couldn't eat it all. He did not eat it all. He didn't weigh but $1.60. He didn't eat it all. Wasted half the sandwich. And we talked, and he asked me, why should he come to Michigan State? I said, the reason why you come to Michigan State, because you're going to learn the game of basketball that's going to help you in life. Secondly, once you come to Michigan State, you'll have brothers for life. And that's how we thought. We all thought that. And I can tell you stories about Magic Johnson when he would come back each summer and play in the summer league with us. And he threw me off the court. I'll tell you about that too. But it was a great friendship that we had. It was great. And so what Steve said, I'm coming to Michigan State. And when he came, his freshman year, he said over in Wonders, he was a roommate with Jesse Hall. And I graduated from college. I did marry that young lady, and I was in Grand Rapids. And I came back to see him his first week on campus because y'all had this thing called an icebreaker. For those of you who don't know it,
man,
we had the icebreakers over at the IM.
Did you have those?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, we had the icebreaker. And so I came to see Steve. I don't know why my wife let me go. I came back to see Steve. We went to the icebreaker. Remember, this is children's entertainment. So we go to icebreaker. Steve and I maintain a relationship. And I promised him, I said, Steve, I will come to all of your games. I'm going to be here. Like when I met you, I told you I would be a big brother, and I will be your big brother. And so we just hit it off great, but I hit it off great with Dwayne Stevens when he got recruited. I hit it off great with Mark Montgomery, Thomas Kelly. I mean, so the relationships that I've had with the guys, Kalen Lucas, I hate to say it, from Saginaw, Michigan. He's my little brother, but his mama made it crystal clear that she was not my mother, Draymond Green's mother, who's younger than me. She's not in her triple 20. She said, don't call Draymond your little brother. That means you're calling me old. So I have to call Draymond my nephew. So, yes. So Steve Smith and I have became partners in life. And in terms of how we did our investments together, he looped me in with a lot of his investments he made around the Lansing community. And we got involved. He made his donation to the student academic center. And then a year later, I endowed the very first student manager endowed scholarship. I donated 100% of my salary at that time because I felt student managers, and you guys had managers part of football. Those kids worked their butts off, do. And so I endowed the very first scholarship. And now we have 7 individuals who's joined me to endow the scholarship for men's basketball. So the love and the passion has been strong for a number of years. Going on 42 years now, I've been connected to the program.
Oh, that's incredible, man. I didn't know about the student manager endowment. That's awesome.
So if you want to donate, it's George and Maria Johnson Endowed Scholarship.
Okay. It
goes right to the kids. We really try to help the kids out because those kids, they don't get a lot of money. It's but trust me, they get a lot of gear, and so that's why they're happy. At Michigan State,
that's why you have all that gear, basically.
Man, he geared up.
This man got he got shoes I ain't never seen in my life. Like,
hey, he got a hoodie. He got an IHOP hoodie from us too, but it didn't fit. It was the wrong size.
It didn't. But my son took it. Your son
took that one. I remember that.
Yes.
That's from old Sir Cal.
Hey, and by the way, it was so funny. So I had a chance. So each year, Tom allows me to travel on a regular season game with the team because of my relationship with the kids. And unfortunately, they remember what shoes I wear. So in my collection, I got about 350 pair of sneakers. And if I wear the same pair more than once, they'll rip me. So this weekend, because of Honor Kobe, I had some camouflage Kobe's on that are all green with my name on the inside of it. The kids never saw that, and the athletes never saw that. So I was the hit of the show. I also had the Galaxy Kobe's on. They're about 10, 15 years old. And I think it was Tyson said to me, "Can I get those shoes?" I said, "Hey, this is not an NIL deal. Nope."
Oh no!
But I did have my shirt on. I did represent at the game at Penn State.
Oh
I had my
yeah!
Black History Month shirt on. I was cheering loudly. Otis wasn't with me, so I did not get thrown out of the game. That was Otis at Little Caesars Arena. That was Otis that was harassing the kids on the court. That was Otis, not George.
Otis wasn't with you.
Yes. But I got to tell
man,
you
you
guys.
got a bad rep, I mean, we're down there in the assembly hall in Bloomington,
I'm just
man.
passionate.
He's ready to go. You
I'm
put
passionate.
the balls on a kid.
I'm passionate. George, you know I'm passionate.
You're
man.
passionate.
I'm
You're passionate.
You are.
Yeah. No, so
No
this,
doubt
so
about
I got to tell
Yeah,
you guys a real
like
story.
said, I'm in my element. Man.
The
I'm in my
element. That you know what that means, everybody.
Yes.
Element. George, get your red cup. Every time Otis says element, you gotta,
I
flint
got my
time.
red cup.
Mhm.
But I would tell you though, being part of the program was remarkable. And one of the things I want from the program was, of course, the camaraderie. Strayhorn, had I not been a manager, I probably never would have met you. And since I've met you, I call you, whether you're on the East Coast or West Coast. You're like, "George, I'm in the car with my kids. I'm taking them to school right now. What do you want?" I just want to say hi. And then, hey, Stray, then the new problem came. Otis gave me his number. And he already know between 7:30 and 8, I'm calling him. But he like, but I will tell you guys, for those of you who don't know what this is, we used to have a media guide. They're made out of paper. It's a book. They're made out of a book, a media guide. And in the media guide, under former players, letter winners, Irvin Magic Johnson's under Johnson, and right underneath his name is George Johnson. So I finally made it. I'm right with Magic Johnson. And what's amazing about this, right under my name is my son's name, George Johnson III. So the legacy lived on. He was a manager. And so, hey, between Magic and, my son and I, we're good.
What about your brother?
Oh, well, his name is Lewis. So Ken Johnson was a former player that I was part of the manager with. He took the 4th slot, and then Lewis takes the 5th slot. So on senior night with my son, my wife got all excited. My wife sit there saying, "You know what? I should be the first lady of basketball." I said, "Your name isn't Miss Loopy." She goes, "No. I had a guy I had to stick up with in college, to be bothered with for 4 years as a manager. Then your brother, who's my biological brother, I had him for 4 years. And now my son. I got 12 years of MSU history." She don't have a varsity jacket. She's not a Spartan for life.
She is Spartan Dawg for life. She ain't one of them.
Spartan Dawg for life. And oh, by the way, I'm on the Penn State trip. And I meet a guy, and the guy and I started talking. Within 2 minutes, he told me he worked in football. And I said, "You did when?" He said, 1984. I said, "Oh, so you're 2 years behind me." He goes, "What does that mean?" I said, "I came in 82. Then we have to brag about the years when we were managers." He was a football manager. His name is Ron Gantner. And he was a football manager along with Dave Pruder, the equipment guy, who is
Pruder.
Yeah, old Pruder, the one that don't give you no gear.
Yeah, don't give you nothing.
Don't give you nothing, Pruder. That's the guy. And so it's just amazing when all of us can come together and connect the dots. And he told me, he said, "George, I would love to have lunch with you." And I said, "Great. Don't call Otis because you're not getting no gear." I did tell him that.
Hey, Gantner, every trip I've ever been on, I see Gantner. I mean, he gets on all the trips. I wonder, I didn't know he had that manager background.
Yep, he was a manager under football, yes. And he'll tell you, I wasn't an equipment manager. I was a football manager. I said, "What's the difference?" One handles equipment. I handle the coaches. It was my job to make sure the phones work when you talk from the field to the booth. I said, "Oh, okay." He said, "What was your number one job?" I said, "Not to get yelled at."
Hey, George, talk about that story about the ticket scalping. Talk about the ticket scalping story.
Ticket scalping.
Yeah.
Is the statute of limitation over with?
It's over.
Oh, yeah. We in the living room.
We're in the living room?
Yeah.
So we were at Indiana University. And so sometimes the players don't always have family to come to the game.
Mhm.
You know, Assembly Hall always sell out.
Always.
Always sell out. Well, being the young, dumb manager that I was, I got a bunch of tickets because I was told I needed to share them with the fans outside the building.
You were told to share.
Share, yes. Hopefully there'll be a fee that was going to be offered for me sharing it. You know.
Oh Lord.
Needless to say, on that occasion, the police officers did get me
Oh no, they did.
at Indiana, and I said, I'm just donating them to whoever wanted them. I'm just donating them. But when I got
mind you, you suited and booted in the nines.
yeah,
like, dressed
no.
to
Now,
the T's
I will
outside, selling like it's like Jehovah's Witnesses.
Wow.
So like,
I did have a suit on. I did have on a black suit because I always wanted to be a coach. See, the Darwin, who's the manager for me, he wanted to have on the same gear that the players had on, you know, the warm-up suit. Well, I wanted to be a coach. I wore a double-breasted suit. Double-breasted was popular back then, straight. I'm just telling you. They're probably not popular today, but in '82 they were popular. I had a suit on. You couldn't tell me nothing.
82 double-breasted suit.
Double-breasted suit.
Casket sharp, they used to say.
That's the show, casket sharp.
Yeah,
82.
I did. And so tickets back in the day was heavy collateral when you can negotiate different things. So I got many more stories. I know Otis knows a few of my stories.
You can negotiate. There are players who negotiated that for grades, from what I understand, but we're not going to talk about that and get into too much.
No. That was only in the later years when Otis was a student. That didn't happen.
The later years. Hey, George, you talked about you wanted to wear a suit like a coach. You didn't dress like a player, but you did get out on the court a couple times, especially with some Michigan State basketball greats like Irvin, the guy that shares a last name with you. Tell us about your experience playing with Irvin Magic Johnson.
So each summer, what would happen is when Magic would come home to see his family, he'd come over to Jenison, and we run open gym on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. So Magic always made sure if he missed a shot, he got fouled. And so on this particular night, he never missed a shot. So on this particular night, it was Magic Johnson was playing with Kevin Willis was on the team with Magic. Scott Skiles was on the team with Magic. And I can't think who the fourth guy was. And he said, Johnson. And so I'm supposed to keep score. Get over here. So I got on the court. And you're talking about somebody can say they're on a basketball court with Magic Johnson? Well, my tenure on the court lasts about 2 possessions up and down the court. Because on the second possession, I never made it on defense. I stayed at the other end. They were good. Magic throws me a pass, and I got so excited to catch underneath the basket, and I fumbled the ball and went out of bounds.
Oh, no.
Magic said, get the hell out of here. So I quietly walked off the court, and I went to Judd. I said, Coach, can Magic do that? He's the Magic Man.
He's the Magic Man.
Sit over here.
I never played again when the guys came back. So I retired only with 1 turnover. I retired, only had 1 turnover.
That was your stat line, zeros, and then 1 turnover.
1 turnover. Yep. So Steven Izzo got more points than I got, but that's okay. That's okay.
Oh man. Sounds like that scarred you.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like George, talk about the current squad, because like you've been through a lot of Michigan State basketball. You've seen it. You lived and breathed it. Talk about this squad specifically, and like where do you see us going from being just yesterday at Penn State with the team? You've seen, are things clicking, and is there future bright for Spartan Nation to be like, we got it going now? Like, just talk about that.
Thank you. I think for the average basketball fan nowadays, everybody's looking for the next Steph Curry, or they're looking for the next LeBron James, but they never think about the cohesive part of the group. These group of kids, if I would have told either one of you that Tyson Walker would score 6 points, and I want to think, don't quote me, I think AJ had single digits in points as well yesterday, and we will win at Penn State, which is the same Penn State that beat Wisconsin a week ago. The Wisconsin, I'm talking about the Wisconsin, who's ranked in the top at the time, was ranked number 11.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, guys, you play more than just a name on the jersey. You're playing players. And so this group of guys, when you sit back and you think about they were preseason number 4, and some of the fans go, well, they didn't live up to expectations. They had a couple games that was a difference. Of course, the James Madison game was a huge shock to a lot of us as basketball fans. But that James Madison team isn't a sorry team. That team will probably win their conference, and they may get out of the first weekend in the NC2A tournament. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we suffered the loss, as you guys know, in the State Farm Classic, down in Chicago. Where was it, Chicago? It was Chicago, yeah. This year we lost that one. And so all of a sudden now people are questioning how good we are. But if you go based on history, Tom is the kind of coach who pretty much let a guy believe what he wants to believe the first 8 weeks of basketball. And then somewhere around about the middle of January, he has a team meeting where he'll remind the guys, okay, we tried it your way. So now let's try it my way. Let's try it my way. Because I'm the coach. And I know everyone's got to have a floor and a leader, but you got to have a leader in the locker room. Tom Izzo is that leader. And if you think about the number of turnovers that they've been averaging in the last 5 or 6 games, you can see what's been happening. They haven't been turning the ball over. Yesterday, I think we had 10 turnovers, which is one of the few games we had a high number of turnovers. But if you look at the last few games, we've been in single digits. So the team is clicking. So, Otis, when you were talking at the front of the show, I agree with you. I would not bet against this team. I would not. Now, we do know this weekend we're going to play this team up the road. They're playing for their lives right now. They're playing for pure pride. We're playing for championships. So yes, Jason, we're going in this weekend. I want every Spartan fan to buy tickets. Tickets only $20. They're only $20. Nobody in Auburn wants to go to their games. So go to the game. Show the support. When they say go green, I want you to say go white. I mean, yes, I believe that we have a chance to winning our last 7 games of the season. I believe that.
And the true test is what the true test is when we play Purdue. Yeah, yes. Purdue. And I talked about it too, straight like earlier. It's like that Illinois Purdue game, like we got to win one of those, which we already took care of business with Illinois at home. But I do believe that we can go in there and Mac Arena and do some damage. But you talked about that whole team. I do believe we're playing relentless defense though. Like we are like
we're slapping the floor again.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, you see it. You said it's on the road against Michigan at 8:00. Was that Saturday?
Yeah.
Well, and then you have Iowa, Ohio State at Purdue, Northwestern at home, and then at Indiana.
Well, typically if you guys watch this last game from an analytics standpoint, we run a lot of offensive sets, right?
Yes.
If you watch that game, what did Tom do differently? He said, we're going to fast break them. They like to press, and Tom threw over top and press. We had, don't quote my number, I wish my stat guy was with me. We either had 42 or 44 points in the paint. We missed probably 5 or 6. We would have had almost 50 points in the paint. I mean, that's the way we played the game. I'm in row 2. I'm yelling at Malik because I'm right behind Tom. That's Judd never liked me to sit behind the bench because he thought I was too loud. I don't know why, but he thought I was too loud. So Malik gets the ball, and they call a play. I said, Malik, no, shoot it. He can't check you. That was Otis who did that at the Baylor game. I just did it last night. I said, Malik, he can't check you. Make him respect you. He just turned around and shot. He did no fancy dribbles. He did no step back fadeaway. He did no sky. He just turned around and shot off his guy. I think he was 11 for 13 or 10 for 13. I know I was a manager then. I don't know what I am today, but he only missed a couple shots. I mean, if you think about his efficiency with the 10 rebounds, three or four of those were offensive rebounds. Think about the number of touches that game's had and what he was able to do. He played phenomenal. And it took a lot of stress off of Tyson right now.
Absolutely.
You know, I feel bad for Tyson as a basketball fan because, and Tyson had 38, 39 games in a row. We had double digits. And no, I don't have a stat sheet, so I could be wrong. And last night he didn't. After the game was over with, I said, Tyson, how you feel? He said, man, we won. I said, that's it. The goal is to win. If you guys go back in history in the last 20 years, the goal at Michigan State's basketball program was to get to the Final Four.
That's it.
I know a lot of our fans saying, man, are we going to make the tournament? We Spartan Dawgs. Our goal is to get to the Final Four. If we get to the Final Four, we got a chance to win it. We don't get to the Final Four, we ain't got a chance. So that's the goal. That's the goal. Our goal is to win the Big Ten tournament this year. We're going to come up short in the regular season unless Purdue, unfortunately, lose 4 games in order to help us. But I don't see that. But our goal is to win the Big Ten. We didn't. Let's get the tournament. Let's get the tournament Big Ten. And then let's go on to the Final Four. Let's make that our goal. Make this your goal. I don't have confidence that Purdue's going to win it. I don't. If you look at the last team in the Big Ten to win the national championship, Michigan State. Which team in the Big Ten, the last team to get to the Final Four? I don't know. Let me show you my son's rings. Michigan State. That's it. That's it. That's it. Oh, and by the way, I am mad about that too, Otis. So when I was at Michigan State, we went to the Sweet 16 against Kansas. They had a guy named Danny Madison, Kellogg. And they had this infamous clock game. And, you know, we didn't
Danny Manning.
Yes, Danny Manning. Yeah.
Old Danny boy. Yeah.
And the clock stopped for about, I think it stopped for about 24 seconds. They said it stopped for about 12 seconds. And, of course, we lost that game, and the players didn't come back, and I had to bring everybody's equipment back. I became an equipment manager that day, all back to East Lansing. And then when my little brother became a manager, he was in Judge last season in 95 with Sean Rusty Respert and Eric Snow. And, of course, they lost to Iowa, so they didn't win the Big Ten. But when my son got on the scene in 2019, he won the regular season Big Ten, the tournament Big Ten, and he went to the Final Four. And he goes, Dad, you want a piece of rope? I got so much rope now. Which one you want? I said, get out of here. So he got the string. He got the string from 3 games, and I never got any string straight. Can you give me some string? I need some string straight.
Yeah, we got to get you some string.
Give me some cleats or something. I need something because I never won. I just got to the Sweet 16.
I mean, man, hey, dog, have you ever met Dick Vitale?
I met Dick. So when we were in Minneapolis, it was funny. We were in Minneapolis, and so Dick was coming to the hotel, and Charles Barkley was talking to Steve Smith, and Dick Vitale said, "Is that the round mound?" And I said, "Chuck." Charles looked at me like, "I don't know you." I said, "I'm Steve Smith's brother." Now, you notice when I'm outside of East Lansing, I'm Otis' brother. I'm Strayhorn's brother. I'm Carl Banks' brother. I'm Mark Ingram's brother. I'm Andre Rison brother. I'm Lorenzo White brother. I got so many brothers. My mom and dad had 10,000 varsity S winners, so I'm everybody's brother. So Charles come over, Steve Smith come over. I got a chance to meet Dick Vitale. Dick Vitale talked about his love for the Michigan State guys. Of course, he talked about the UD guys that he had, and Kevin Smith, and the late Earl Curtin, who was with Dick Vitale at the time, and how he thought his team probably could have easily beat Michigan State. And so, yeah, Dick Vitale, super, super nice guy.
I mean, hey, man, there's a lot of people in the chat talking about your energy, man. You know, they would be, you know, suffice to say, like that. I don't even, do you drink coffee? I don't even know if you drink caffeine, man.
No, I can tell you a secret. I've never had a cup of coffee. I've never had a glass of an adult beverage in my life. But
I know that.
What I do have, I'm full of green. I got so much Spartan blood in me. I got stories for days. And, you know, and I know the group is probably going, wait a minute, how does he know Nick Sanders again? Well, Nick Sanders' dad name is Barry Sanders. And he go by the name B when he's with me. He doesn't have the B-A-R-R-Y.
Tell that story. No, George, tell the story, because, you know, I mean, we always laugh at you about this one.
So back many years ago, Steve Smith and Kevin Willis played for the San Antonio Spurs, and they won the NBA championship. And so each summer, Steve would come back to Detroit to see his family. My wife is an outstanding cook. That's why I'm no longer at 105 pounds. I'm plus that times more than that.
I still haven't
I'm
gotten
triple something.
I haven't gotten that food yet, but I digress.
We're gonna have you over. We're gonna have you over. Otis.
Yeah,
We're gonna have you over. She's a great cook. So this guy moves into the neighborhood, and at the time he has a 1-year-old son with him, and he goes to the mailbox. Our mailbox are on the street, and so he's at the mailbox, and I see him. I said, "Hey, how you doing?" He said, "Fine." He has a hat over his head. And I said, "Welcome to the neighborhood." He said, "Well, thank you." And it's like on a Wednesday, and I told him, I said, "Hey," I said, "My wife, she cooks, Sunday meals." I said, "So if you like, you can come by Sunday if you like, and bring your son, because my son is 2 years old. He'll have somebody to play with." And he said, "Great." He said, "I'll be over." So Steve Smith calls, and he said, "Hey, is my wife named Maria. Is Maria doing Sunday dinner?" "Yeah." "Can she have some sweet potato souffle?" I said, "Yes, she'll have sweet potato souffle." "Is she going to have turkey, or we're going to have fried chicken?" I said, "Well, we talking about my wife, or we talking about your wife? Because I feel like you're getting requests over here, and I don't know if I feel comfortable with that. Too many requests." I said, "No, she'll have whatever you want." He wanted some fried chicken. He wanted some sweet potato souffle. So Steve's brother Dennis, who goes to all the basketball games and football games with me, he comes to the house ahead of time, and he wants to make sure he gets a chance to see what desserts she was going to have, so he can pick out what he wanted. So he determined how much food he was going to eat. That's how he determined it. So in 30 words or less, I said, "Hey, I got a neighbor coming over. His name is B. Let him in, take him down to the basement. You guys can shoot pool." He said, "Okay." So I go upstairs to get changed. Dennis, Steve's brother, yells upstairs. He said, "You know Barry Sanders?" I said, "The football player?" "Yeah, I got his jersey downstairs in the basement. It ain't autographed. I got the jersey in the basement, and I got a little miniature Heisman trophy with him." He said, "He at your door?" I said, "Barry Sanders?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "He's your neighbor." I said, "The football player for the Lions?" He goes, "Yes." I said, "Oh, crap. Barry Sanders?" "Yeah." I said, okay, let him in. Don't let him know I don't know who he is, but let him in." So he let him in. I pick up the phone. I call Steve. I said, "Steve, where you at?" He said, "I'm on my way to your house." I said, "Before you get here, I want you to know Barry Sanders is over here." "The football player?" I said, "Yes." He said, "I got to stop at Dunham's." I said, "What you going to Dunham's for?" "I got to get a jersey." I said, No. You can't get a jersey. Why not?" I said, "Because I told him you was coming, and I told him he couldn't ask you for an autograph. Y'all just won a championship." He said, "That's between you and him. I'm a huge fan of Barry Sanders. I want a jersey." I said, "Do you mind doing me a favor?" "What?" "Can you get 2 jerseys? So I want to make sure he can autograph one of mine." So needless
great.
to say, Steve goes by Dunham's. He get 2 jerseys. Come in the house. Everybody recognized Barry. Barry had no clue. I didn't know who he was. And the rest is history. We've been great neighbors. I get a chance to go to one Lions game a year. And I got to be honest, going to a Lions game with Barry is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I got a chance to go to a Monday night game with Barry when they played the Raiders. And it was almost not as important going with Otis to the Baylor game before he almost got thrown out of the game. But it was close to that. It was close to that level of fame. No, Barry's a super guy, very humble guy, unassuming. And so, yeah. So he and I talked.
Doug.
Yeah.
Remember Doug? So Doug just popped up. Remember Doug's situation?
Oh my God.
Doug, you don't remember? I don't know if you remember this, George, but Doug Hagedon, who just popped up there, he was in the suite.
He's in the
basketball game, and Barry was in that corner. But
yes,
you remember that, right? So Doug
he got knee forehead to forehead.
He did. He sat right down and said, "Oh man, I just want to get something from Barry, like signed, since I hooked him up with some gear with a nice box."
You did. I got to tell you something about Harlem Barnett.
I don't even know if you gave me credit. I think you took credit, but it's okay.
No, well, I did, of course, because I was trying to go to the Monday night football game. So I got to tell you guys a Barry Sanders story. So this year, Barry came to East Lansing, and I forget which game he came to for football. And his goal was to meet Coach D'Antonio. he just wanted to meet Coach D'Antonio. So Barry decides to go out on the field where everyone's at to meet Coach D'Antonio. And we had a bunch of recruits in at the time. And unfortunately, it just became, positive but chaotic.
Frenzy.
Yes, yeah. It was a frenzy. So I told Barry, I said, hey, Barry, unfortunately, you can stay down here, but it probably wouldn't be to your advice because everybody's going to take pictures, autographs. You might want to come upstairs to the 8th floor where Strayhorn has his food, his fried chicken, and his
come on now.
Wings.
Come on, man.
Come upstairs.
Come
upstairs on the 8th floor. And so Barry did. And so we're upstairs, and I forgot it was 4th down and 1, and we were at the 40-yard line. And the question was, should we go for it? Should we go for it? And I said, Steve, will we go for it? And Steve goes, yeah, we Spartan Dawgs. We can get that 1 yard. You're acting like we're 10 yards away. So I said, Barry, it's 4th and 1. Would you go for it? His question was, who's the running back? I said, who's the running back? He said, yeah, if it's me, yes. If it's somebody else, I don't know. So Lorenzo came in there. I said, Low. I call him Low. Y'all got to call him Lorenzo.
Low. Oh, yeah.
I call him Low. I said, Low, it's 4th and 1. Do you go for it? You know what he said?
Who the running back?
Who's the running back?
Who the back? Who the back?
Hey, Low said, I'm 7 yards deep. That first guy ain't going to touch me. I get past him. It's anything after that. Low said, the first guy ain't going to get him. That 1 yard ain't nothing. He good.
That's it. Man, George, hey, man, this has been outstanding. Listen, for, senior citizen, I think it is time to, lay it down.
See,
That was the cue,
why
right?
y'all do me like that? Hold on. Let me get my readers on. What you say?
Best looking triple 20-year-old that I know on the planet, man. George, hey, man, it's been great. Look, so many people. We got to bring you on as a third when Chu can't come on the show. Can you bring some of your friends? Everybody wants to see some of your friends on the show with this Spartan MSU. How about that?
I know. I can't get Magic because, he got his own thing.
Oh, yes, you can.
I get Magic. Okay. No, I would love to get Draymond. You're talking about a guy that loves MSU.
Yeah.
I like to think Steve Smith loved it. Draymond Green loves MSU. All day, every day. We people forget when you think about the number of our athletes who've been fortunate enough to make a living and donate, from Flozell Adams. People forget about him sometime and what he did over at the visiting center of the football building, the donation to honor his mom and what that meant. This year, Steve Smith, 25-year, the Claire Bell Smith Center, and what he was able to do. Draymond Green did the weight room. Magic Johnson's name over at the football building as well. We talked about Matt Ishbia and what he's been able to do for the university. People don't realize the love that our Spartan Varsity S guys have for this institution. And it's great. It's great. And it's great seeing you two guys week in and week out supporting the university. You guys make me so proud. My goal now is to have a grandson one day, hopefully another 10 more years. My son ain't but 22. And maybe Tom will work another 25 more years. So I can go from father, son to grandson as being a manager. That's what I'm. That's
and the Holy Ghost. You talking about 25 more years, brother? That's gonna be the Holy Ghost.
The Holy Ghost is 25 years.
Everything. Man,
what's the over? What's the over and under that Tom Izzo goes 10 more years? What's the over and under? Tom, give us 10 more years.
10?
10.
Oh man, that you're setting the over under when you're saying 10. That's a long time, man. How young is Tom? How young is Tom? 60 what?
69. He triple 20 plus 9.
His best friend, Nick Saban,
Yep.
hit what, 72?
72.
Yeah.
I'll give 5 years.
5 years.
5
yeah,
years.
I think he's gonna see some of these new recruits right now through. Like some of
we
those
got legacy.
players.
Yeah, we got legacy recruits.
We got legacy guys.
Hold on. You guys keep forgetting. We got Kevin Torbert's son. Hopefully he'll come.
That's what I mean.
That's what I said.
What year is he? What year is Tober?
He's
25 or 26?
Yeah. You got Andre Hudson's son. Andre Hudson's son. You got Davis Thomas' son. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it. I hate to tell people that. They don't realize, just think about it. We've only had Judd Heathcote and Tom Izzo since 1976.
That's a long time, bro.
That's it.
Yes. That's crazy.
And so when we come back for a reunion, I hate to say this, we feel like we all belong with the program. And it's been very fortunate for me that by the way, Tom Izzo like M&M peanuts, not plain M&M peanuts. So if you want to score brownie points with Tom, Lay's potato chips, M&M peanuts. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't tell Miss Loopy I told y'all that. That's a secret.
We'll get into all
and by
that.
the way, since we're in the locker room, we're talking. How y'all gonna forget about Michael Jackson halftime showing Prince? I know y'all young.
I
I
did.
did.
Michael Jackson.
No.
Come on.
I wasn't gonna compare and contrast. Like that's in the whole like elite. Like there's
Come
no
on,
way
man.
of
Michael
like,
Jackson.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I'm
Prince?
talking about like that. Like
We can't talk about this. Is a family show, George.
It's a family show.
We can't talk about Prince.
Okay, y'all talking about Bruno Mars then? Y'all want to put Bruno Mars out there?
Bruno.
Okay. All right. Yes. No, I will say though, the show this year I thought was amazing. Don't tell my wife. I thought Alicia Keys crushed it. I just wish she'd date my son. I want Alicia to date my son. I think she's 30.
She's a married woman, man.
I know, but
Swiss
she could
beats.
use a nice 23-year-old Spartan dog, can't she? My son.
Everybody can,
Alicia
right?
Keys?
Everybody
Okay,
can.
all right. Well, I don't want to leave Alicia Keys alone then. All right. But hey, I got to give a lot of credit to Snoop Doggy Dogg and the West Coast and Dr. Dre and Eminem. I thought they did a great job.
And the thick fitty.
Yeah.
Scent.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
he
Well, I
done
ain't
got
pulling
thin now. He done got skinny now.
Hey, but straight, tell me the secret about combines because I need to lose some of that percent of body fat
Man,
that you was talking about. I need to lose
lock
some.
yourself into one of them little camps
Fast
out
food.
there in Florida or California and
Okay.
eat nothing but water and tuna for about 8
Lettuce.
weeks, and they run
lettuce.
you lettuce. Right, that's all they do.
Cabbage.
No
Cabbage.
fried chicken?
No fried chicken, no macaroni,
No sweet potato souffle?
no sweet potato souffle.
Now sweet potatoes without the souffle is just
Right,
flat.
no butter, no salt, no nothing.
No cookies? No
No,
cookies?
Not that nana. No, that nana.
Now nada. No, man. And then
George, I'm gonna wait on your call tomorrow morning, but like I ain't got no ticket, no invite from you this weekend. So I'm just wondering. I'll be
I
waiting
gotta tell
for
you
your
guys.
call.
I gotta tell you guys this story. I gotta tell you guys this last story before you hang up on me. Because remember, we're in the what do you guys call it? We're in the locker room. We're in the
Locker
club.
room.
in the locker room. We're in the locker room.
In 1984, I was my third year as a manager, and I got a chance to travel. Freshmen didn't travel, sophomores didn't travel. We ain't had before managers. We go to Ann Arbor. This is my one Ann Arbor story. And the week before we play, we get T-shirts with that other school's name on it. So we had the state of Michigan logo, the state, the map, and you had Sparty, and there was an M right where their school is, and Sparty, he urinates on it. You guys have seen that.
Oh yeah,
I got the original T-shirt back in 1984 with that on there. So at the same time, that was the first year when Judd Heathcote decided we're going to have cheers. So we didn't always have cheers. I was that group that gave the little cheers out. And the reason why we did that, because the students and everybody would be behind the bench and our players would be listening to them. So Judd wanted to move us away from the bench onto the court. So I had to bring the cheers out to set everybody down and have Judd his cheer. Mm-hmm. Well, the students at that school down the road, they kept calling me cheer boy, cheer boy, cheer boy. They thought I was Otis or something. They didn't think I was going to say nothing. They didn't think I was going to say nothing. So I did the unthinkable. I didn't go to church that week. I used my middle finger on both hands and I raised it to the rafters to the student section.
Oh no!
After the game was over,
good for you.
Thank you. That's what I thought. I was just saying, you're number one, right? You're number one. I don't know what I was saying. I don't know. So after the game was over with, Judd came to me. He goes, "Hey," I said, "Yeah." He said, "I got a complaint." I said, "About what?" "You gave a finger to everybody in the crowd." "I think so." He goes, "You're not allowed to come back here no more."
What?
I said, "Okay, I ain't want to come back here anyway." Judd says to me, "Great job, George. Great job."
Great job.
So I don't go to Ann Arbor. I didn't go when my son was a manager. I didn't go when my brother was a manager.
You're banned.
I don't know, but I won't waste my gas. I won't put $1 in my gas tank to go to Ann Arbor. I just won't do it.
Right, you did tell me that. You did tell me that.
Nope.
George,
hey,
it's been great, man. And we can go. Listen, I know we can go about 4 or 5 hours with you, George. This is outstanding, man. You got a lot
George
of
is
stories
like the
about
preacher. George is like your dad, pastor. My dad preacher, like, hey, I'm gonna close, and you be like,
take it to the bridge. Right.
Hey, I want you guys to wear your rings this week. Get them varsity S rings out.
Absolutely.
Get your varsity jackets out. Get them out. Oh, and for those of you, I want you to get your degree too. But let's get them varsity S's out. Let everybody know that we're Spartan Dawgs for life. I want to thank you. I wish you guys nothing but success. I hope that as a podcast that I don't have a face for podcasts. So I apologize.
You
but
do.
I want to say I'm proud of you guys. I love you guys. And thank you. I wish you guys nothing but success.
Oh, don't forget Steve Smith, the other Steve Smith, that not your buddy Steve Smith, did donate $100 to your charity here. It says
wow.
your endowment right
Thank
there.
you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much for helping out the students. Thank you. Hey, God bless you all. I wish you guys nothing but the best. Cheer for us Saturday Night Live. Let's make sure we get there. And then on next week, we got Iowa. I want to see you in the stands. Hey, I have some chicken tenders for you.
I'll be there.
I got chicken
tenders.
tenders.
I'll be there. I'm gonna have fun.
Oh, okay, straight.
I'm coming. I'll be up there.
Hey, love you both. Proud of you both.
All right, appreciate you, man. Brother. Thank you, George.
George Johnson. Hey, listen. Hey, y'all didn't know who that was, right? Look, nothing but energy. Otis, that guy right there, man. He's one of our favorites, and he never ceases to amaze me, man. I think every time I talk to him, I learn something new.
Absolutely. Like he is the same person, no matter what the time is. Every time you meet him, you're gonna get George Johnson. Like the energy, like you're gonna talk now. He'll be on his phone like during the game sometimes looking, but you can hear when he speaks, the players can hear from the suite down on the court, like because no one else is hearing that loud. He is loud. But he's great. I mean, he loves the kids, and like you said, he bleeds green and white, man. That's a great interview. Glad to pay your respects, give his flowers now, because that's the type of guys we have in our letter winners. That's the type of guys. It's it'd be great to get Draymond on and have the conversation too. But that was a good one. I loved it.
Oh man, loved everything about it, and can't wait to have more basketball players and former people who were part of the program on our show. Look, the chat was great. George was great, man. And, everybody collectively, we are looking forward to what's to come because we have a lot of great guests coming up in the next few weeks for This is Sparta MSU. Jehuu, we'll get him back on here because he's got things going on. But Otis, man, it was a great show. I appreciate you, man. So for Otis Wiley, I'm Jason Strayhorn. This is Sparta MSU. Everybody have a good night. God bless you. And go green.
Go white.
This is Sparta MSU is a combined presentation of Playfly Sports Properties and Michigan State Sports Properties. The show is produced by Tony LaBarbera, Tony Gustella, and Process Driven Consulting. Additional support is provided by Brendan Duravage. On-location technical support provided by Good Fruit Video. Be sure to follow our host, Jason Strayhorn, Jehuu Caulcrick, and Otis Wiley on social media. To stay up to date with all the latest This is Sparta news, please like and subscribe by visiting our link tree and tell a friend to do the same. Thank you for your support. And as always, go green.